Hi there, I'm Lenny LaCour,
And I'm Dr. Robert Heller.
and this is Rockin' Success. And today, we're going to talk about the difference of being happy or being satisfied. So today, we're going to talk about the actual definition of the two. Doctor?
I would rather be satisfied than happy. Why? Because happiness is a momentary satisfaction, is what a great meal. I really enjoyed it. And satisfaction deals with accomplishment of feeling satisfied that we've done something we want to do.
So happiness, from my understanding, is immediate gratification in something. And satisfaction is long-lasting and measurable results. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And how does that relate to work and to living in our lives?
If you're just happy day by day, then how do you design a model for success for the end game? How do you put all the chapters in your life together to complete success?
It's a step-by-step fashion. Is that, it's really important is that we need meaningfulness. That's a core social element that we all have, is that when you're working, when you're playing, is that we want something that's meaningful. And if it's not meaningful, then we can't really derive satisfaction from it.
I think that in today's world, something really easy to reflect on is we've been talking recently about the Olympics that just occurred. Could you explain some key points that you pulled out of that?
Right. So the other day we saw the one of the foot races, and the American came in second. And her face glowed with, she did the best she could. She came in maybe number two, but she did the best she could. She's satisfied. She's worked toward that goal. She's met that goal. She's satisfied. She feels great. Happiness would be, more momentary, but no, without our control. People who win the lottery are happy for a short period of time, but we know after like 2 or 3 months, they're back exactly where they were emotionally. So that's not really an answer.
So I feel that satisfaction is a building block for growth and development as you live your life. Is it true that it's okay to be happy, but in order to lead to a bigger place, a bigger world, a bigger way for people to create communication with each other is because people share other people's happiness, and you can take someone else's happiness and make it part of your satisfaction.
Yeah, absolutely. You can be you can be happy for other people. But I think individually is that we create goals and meaningfulness for what we do. And it's like there's nothing better than setting a goal for ourselves, whether it's a work goal, a life goal, a family goal, and meeting that. There's that sense of, wow, that's a much deeper sense than the happiness that we feel.
So do you feel that satisfied people are more approachable and that people want to be around them because they help them create satisfaction in their own life?
Yeah, you're right. I think it's a good point. I think that satisfied people are more open to other people, is that they feel more fulfilled, more not better than, but they feel accomplished. So they want to share that. We all know that when you share your satisfaction, I don't want to say happiness, but your satisfaction, is that people pick up on it because you're a positive person to be around. In a work situation, if people really understand what their job is and they feel capable of doing it and they actually do it, there's a whole level of satisfaction that's created in the culture. So it's not just a individual satisfaction, but you see startup companies that work very, very hard. They work very long hours. And they see this image, this vision that they have that's working slowly but surely. And we know in our own business is that we want people to share in what we know. We want people to share in utilizing a technology and a tool to progress, to be more satisfied in their work, to be in the right job, to create something that they want to create. That leads to happiness, and it spreads its big smile to everybody.
I believe that people are happy in their job sometimes, but they're not always satisfied with the outcomes. And that's usually because they might be all right with what they do, but they haven't gotten to a measure of success in their life that leaves them satisfied, so we can move on to the next chapter.
Right. The research in industrial psychology says that people are not motivated by money. They're motivated by moving up in achievement. So people are very happy when they get their paychecks, but you're right, they're not satisfied unless they are meeting some of their own personal goals.
Sometimes I listen to people who just don't know where they're going to, and they're stuck. But I listen to people who are satisfied because the most satisfied people that I have heard from lately have repositioned themselves sometime within the same organization and found out that where they were in the back of the house before, they were almost forced to be in the front of the house for whatever reasons it came of that. And once they were in the front of the house, they realized that's where they actually belonged. So it was another chapter for them. So they kept their happiness, but they created satisfaction from doing what they had done before. And now they're happy with what they do. And it's like a building block of growth and development.
Right. I remember you telling me about this individual, and they could have stayed at where they were. But when they realized they could go into sales and actually accomplish things and convince people about different approaches to their work, that was really a higher level of satisfaction. So that's a great example.
It takes a lot of encouragement for some people to express their inner self, who they are, how they think, why they do the things that they do. Some people.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Lenny.
Some people need to go into therapy for that. And some people are fortunate enough to meet people in life who guide them along the way and help them do it themselves. That's why our entire theory here is communication. And when you plan the end game, when you have someone help you plan the end game, you need to create realistic outcomes for your chapters, for your life as you move along. So what type of a boss helps people? How do you choose the boss that is the best?
I wish you could choose the boss, but I tell you what, there are tools like our tool, the core motivation analysis, that helps you understand who you are, what your capabilities are, and what holds you back from being more successful. Because look, we all get caught up in situations. I remember I wanted to be a chemist. I am not the chemist. I'm doing what I'm really good at. And so once I found my groove and what I'm good at, I feel successful, I feel liberated, and I get feedback and I can improve and move on. But it really makes sense is that we're all looking for our niche. What is the niche that we really fall into? And then what kind of support do we need to get people to really help us be successful and satisfied? And that's what we're talking about today.
Now, in a younger chapter of my life, I thought I might have wanted to be a movie star. I don't know, it just all looked great to me. And then I started listening to people and hearing what they said about the lifestyle. And I realized I was just a little bit more private than that. And then I realized I really wanted to give a little bit more than just be a star. So I decided that my aspiration became being the executive producer of the show and giving people satisfaction for the roles that they played and working with teams. So I went in that direction, and my life changed because I realized further who I was.
Mhm.
And many people have said to me in life, I'm not sure, because I do take control over certain situations. I know what I'm doing, but I also know that I'm a great student. So I listen very well to what people say, and I plan my journey on other people's opinions and comments. Not that I live for what people say to me, but it's very important how other people perceive you. So the more you can tell people about who you are, the more your world will grow. And that's why we created this tool.
And going back to our conversation about happiness versus satisfaction, is having well-defined goals that you can work toward and meet, you become more satisfied in your life, which is much more enduring than just happiness. Happiness is fleeting, it's emotional. Satisfaction, you can develop and grow and build on.
I can say the most ridiculous things to people. When you talk about people speaking to people or people listening to people, but for some reason, my communication in life, people feel that I'm very passionate. I deliver with passion, with kindness, and I'm very honest about it, but I'm always very kind about the way that I deliver. And sometimes I don't think I'm kind enough, and people correct me and say, you didn't have to say that. So it becomes a skill that becomes part of your satisfaction.
Well, let me just make a note about the future podcasts that we do. One is going to be, do you prefer to be loved or respected? Which is dealing with exactly what you're talking about. Do you want people to acknowledge and accept what you say because they respect you? Or do you want to say things because you're loved? But that's for another time and another place.
I believe most people want to be loved. And if they don't want to be loved, there's a reason for it. And it's probably because they're not satisfied in their life. So we've made it a mission in life to work with people to help them find out who is around them and how they can be supportive to those people, and those people can be supportive to them, because everybody needs something in life to move along.
Well, to be satisfied is I will do whatever I can to help support you to meet your vision and your goal. And then if you trust that I care about meeting your vision and your goals, and you move in that direction, you will be satisfied and happy.
Right, that's what I was going to ask you. Is there anything wrong with one or the other?
No.
It's just knowing the second. It's knowing.
Right, knowing the difference.
Being satisfied. It's great to be happy all the time, but you can go out to a club and dance all night long and be happy. But the next morning, you probably aren't satisfied.
Right.
So we've all felt, and that's the sort of pain nobody likes to feel.
So let's go back to Rocking Success. And we've got a lot of other podcasts to talk about. But just remember, kind of in summarizing, is that satisfaction is up to you doing things that are meaningful, that end up somewhere so that you feel a sense of accomplishment. Happiness is enjoy the moment, recognize it, celebrate it, and keep moving on with your mission.
Didn't you want to say something about someone else's clinical research on happier satisfaction?
Well, I'll mention that, and I'm going to use my paper here, that Daniel Kahneman and Martin Sigelman are well known for their discussions about happiness, but they have also, since the time they came up with their research, is talking about satisfaction and happiness are different. They're very distinct. One deals with a emotional momentary experience that is spontaneous, and satisfaction is a long-term feeling over time based on achieving goals. And that's kind of what we've been talking about.
That sort of ties in with the wellness concept of what is wellness in the world. And wellness is really so many different opportunities that can either make you happy for the moment or bring total satisfaction in your life if you continue to live that lifestyle. If you choose to just go to get a massage every other week because it makes you happy, or do you get the massage because it actually alerts to your senses and does something specific that is ongoing until you get the massage again? I would say that would fall more into satisfaction, because you would be nurturing yourself, your mind, and your body. Take that one on, doctor.
It's all has to do with meaningfulness. Is that when we do things that are meaningful,
exactly,
we want to sustain it. And that's all I got to say.
Very good. Thank you. Can we plan the end game? Can we plan satisfaction? Do we do it in stages of our lives? Do we do it through generations? How do we carry it all through? How do we deal with a life that leads to satisfaction while we live through it?
It's Lenny, that's a great way of phrasing it. I think satisfaction comes with doing things that are meaningful. So financially, creating financial stability for your children is planning. I think at work, learning skills and developing your hierarchy of growth is meaningful. I think that creating a goal toward how we're going to develop is meaningful in terms of family, spouses, children, etc. So satisfaction is built on steps of building skills as we go on. Happiness is momentary, but we should celebrate it nonetheless. So I think we can achieve both. We can be happy, spontaneous enjoyment, and we can be satisfied by continual stepping stones of growth.
Well, I think celebrating is a good thing anytime. So thanks for taking the time to join in on this week's episode of Rockin' Success. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Again, I'm Lenny LaCour.
I'm Robert Heller.
And let's keep talking.